I want to shift gears quickly to the Lakers because yesterday they introduced their new head coach, that's Darvin Ham, and he was asked about Russell Westbrook's role on the team. And in case you haven't heard it, here's what he said.
Don't get it messed up. Russ is one of the best players our league has ever seen, and there's still a ton left in that tank. I don't know why people tend to try to write him off.
Okay, so of course that was 2 days ago that he said that, not yesterday, but the point remains and what he said remains. So, Wendy, how about it? What does this mean? A lot of people took that to mean, oh, the Lakers are doubling down on Russell Westbrook. He's going to be a big part of what they're doing going forward. How did you hear what the new coach said?
Well, at the end of the season, Russell Westbrook gave a pretty incredible press conference where he basically blamed a lot of what happened this season on Frank Vogel and said that he wasn't given a role and he wasn't given guidance. I don't know if that's true, but what Darvin Ham was saying here is, okay, Russell, here is what your role is going to be. Your role is going to be as a defender. Your role is going to be to make a sacrifice. And that way he is laying out for him what his role is in June, well before the start of the season, so that Russell has it clearly explained to him. And the reason that he is doing that is because as of right now, as of June 2022, the Lakers are operating under the belief that Russell Westbrook is going to be with them. And so they have to prepare for Russell Westbrook to have some sort of role on their team. But I don't think it necessarily means that Russ is guaranteed anything or that things are going to be vastly different. I think he's just trying to lay the groundwork so that Russell clearly understands what he is going to ask him.
I need to just circle back on what the way you said that. As of June of 2022, that Russell Westbrook is going to be there. You make that, the way you said it made it sound to me like you're suggesting that could be different in October of 2022. Is that what you meant?
Well, yeah, I think if the Lakers had a trade that they could make for Russell Westbrook, I think they'd be very interested in doing it. I just don't think they have a trade right now. So Darvin Ham, in his interview process and now sitting in that office and communicating with his players, is operating like Russ is going to be there. But I'm just saying, I don't think you should take it as a guarantee that Westbrook is going to have a massive role on this team. I think it's Darvin Ham trying to manage a situation that got out of control last season.
He's certainly going to have a massive contract. You saw the number there, $47 million. How about it, JJ?
Well, I think when we talk about Russ, there's a certain sacrifice that he's got to be willing to make, and it's not just him. I think Anthony Davis is the other guy that's going to have to sacrifice to really maximize a roster around these three guys. Anthony Davis is going to have to play some five, and primarily at the five next season. And so far, he's been very resistant throughout his career to play five exclusively. But the real question mark for the Lakers is not Russell Westbrook. You know, this is the bed that they are lying in. This is what they elected to do when they traded away their wing depth and decided not to bring back Alex Caruso. So how they fill out their roster, their rotation pieces 4 to 8, and how those guys fit with LeBron James, with Anthony Davis, with Russell Westbrook, that to me will dictate their success more than whatever Russell Westbrook's role is.
Maybe somewhat appropriately, in Hollywood, there figures to be a lot of drama going forward. Meanwhile, thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.